unbeaten in 9 Edinburgh derbies. Hearts are unbeaten in their last 8 games, but Hibs left to reflect on what might have been an early goal from Ollie Shaw that didn't stand, even though it had crossed the line. It was a tough one for Sean Carr, the assistant referee, without the aid of goal line technology in Scotland. And from that moment, both teams huffed and puffed. Hibs had the better of the first half. Hearts came into it in the second half, but in the end, nobody could step forward and spark a goal apart from him, but it did not count. And the second Edinburgh derby of the season ends goalless. They'll be back to do it all over again next month here in the Scottish Cup. They just can't stay away from each other for too long. But this festive encounter has finished. Hearts 0, Hibs 0.
No bragging rights here in the capital city, and actually discussing during the game a case of deja vu. The last time an Edinburgh derby in the league finished goalless was when Lee Griffiths had a goal over the line disallowed. That was the talking point then, and the talking point with Ollie's 5th goal and not being given will, I'm sure, dominate the post-match reaction here. It's a disappointment for either side. Hearts not having a single shot on target. We'll analyse the facts and stats and break it down for you, but let's look ahead to what we have coming up live on Sky Sports. Neil Lennon will not be happy, not just having to share the points, but perhaps the goal that looked to have crossed the line. But how much? How much did it cross? That much over the line, they're telling him, was disallowed. It has finished goalless here. He will not be happy at all. I'm not happy with the stats as well. When we break it down, just the one shot on target, not a single shot on target for Hearts. Didn't manage to win a single corner either, and Hibs just edged it as far as possession's concerned. But Hearts, well, you could say they've won a point, not dropped points. I wonder how Hibs will feel about that. We'll get the thoughts from Neil Lennon and Chris Commons in just a moment. Let's hear from captain Paul Hanlon and also Ollie Shaw.
Well, Ollie, the talking point is the 7th minute, and the ball seemed to be over the line. What was your own thoughts?
Straight away, I thought it went over. As I was running away, obviously, I've hit the shot and it's bounced to the line, and I thought all day long it's over, but unfortunately not.
How frustrating is that then?
Very frustrating, because we were on top, you know, it's the one that could have won us the game. But unfortunately, we don't get the 3 points, but we get a point instead.
It all happens so quickly. Can you have sympathy for an assistant referee when it happens so quickly, or should he have been up with play?
Obviously it happens so fast, so you've got to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I think it's quite clear. If we've seen it already, I think it's quite a clear goal, but unfortunately not. Something given.
Paul, what was your own thoughts on the match?
Probably not a great spectacle, to be honest. Not a lot of football played, a lot of headers, tackles, things like that, a lot of injuries, but as Ollie said, I think the first half we had the better chances with the disallowed goal, and over the piece probably happy enough for a point, but disappointed with the decision that was made.
Hibs keep this run going in this fixture, is it? Can you take any comfort out of that?
Yeah, I suppose that's a bonus, but we came here to win and we've not managed to do that. As I said, the goal got disallowed, which denies us 3 points, but overall happy enough to take the point.
What was your view of it? You were a long way away, I take it.
Long way away, but kind of gut instinct, I thought it was in, but too far away to tell, to be honest.
We appreciate your time, gentlemen. Thank you.
That's the talking point. I'll be the talking point, getting your name wrong. Neil Lennon on the brain. I know. Known you long enough to know what your name is. Goodness me. But it's kind of the story of the game, I guess, isn't it, really? Everything that we thought was going to happen almost didn't. The goal that looked to have crossed the line, we were unsure whether it crossed the line. A bit of stick on the assistant referee, but we've got to talk about him, though, haven't we? Because when you look through it, you can understand, perhaps, how he saw it.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think you can give any blame to the assistant referee that he's not given it. As Andy said in commentary, I think he has to be sure, and he can't possibly be sure. It's a good move from Hibs. I think it was one of the few times that Martin Boyle go down this right side in behind Jamie Brandon. It's a brilliant pick out, and it's a real controlled finish from young Shaw. He's actually lifting it because he expects Big Lachlan to go down, but you can see there, by the benefit of the zoom in, that it is over the line. But as the replays start to roll later on, you can get a good view to where the assistant is, and there's no way, Chris, you can call it. There's no way with a sure notion that it's over the line.
The issue that I've got is the fact that he's clearly not in a position to see it.
This is the one here.
So he can't see it. There's a player in the way. I think it's Brandon who's in the way. There's the post. So he can't see it. But then we've got pictures of him down in the tunnel saying it wasn't over the line.
That's the problem that he will have.
Do you know what I mean? Every player going up to him saying, ref, that was, linesman, that was in. No, it weren't. It clearly didn't cross the line. And he was telling all the players and the member of staff, it's not crossed the line. Now, if he's not seen it, just say, I wasn't in a position to see the ball. But don't lie and say it didn't cross, because he clearly couldn't see it. And that's my issue.
We were only lip reading though, weren't we? So we're thinking that's what he said. It'd be interesting to find out, but not good to have another discussion like this, isn't it, in a game that is so important?
Well, listen, I don't think both sets of players can be faulted for their efforts. I think the application levels were fantastic from both sides. They just cancelled each other out. I spoke about it at half time. I felt there was no width in the game. When you look at the four fullbacks from either side, from both sides, none of them were seen in the final third really getting to the byline and putting crosses in the box. I just think it was so congested. And when it's so congested and tight, you're actually looking for a wee bit of imagination, like this man used to have, like a little disguised pass, or even just chancing themselves with firing a shot from outside of the box, testing the keeper, just to get people to come close to you, and then you can bounce things round about. But not a great deal of quality, but loads of endeavour, and I don't think both managers will be that unhappy with coming away with a point.
OK, well, let's hear from Neil Lennon. He's with Luke Shanley.
Neil, given what happened in the 7th minute, how frustrating is that?
It's a disgrace. It's not even close. We could all see it was daylight over the line. The way the ball comes out, it's hit the back of the line, unquestionably. How the linesman, mind you, got every other offside in the first half. How you didn't see that is beyond me. And this is a big game, and there's a lot riding on it for the pride of the city and for the 3 points on offer. And we should be walking away here with 3 points, thoroughly deserved 3 points as well.
Playing devil's advocate, some would say you can't guess at it. If he's not sure, he can't give it. But do you feel it was that obvious, though? Yeah, it's well over the line. You know, everyone in my dugout could see it. I think half the crowd knew it as well. I think all you guys knew it. So I agree with you, the referee cannot guess. But the linesman should see that that's a clear goal. And we could all see that from the way the ball came back out at the angle. What was your thoughts on the rest of the game? Well,
it was attritional. You know, our shape was good. We looked a threat. If we'd have timed the runs a little bit better, Hearts playing a high line, we could have got in a little bit more. I don't think my goalkeeper had a save to make in the game. Defensively, we were superb, and it's a glue pot of a pitch. So if you're looking for a spectacle, don't come here, because it's not conducive to playing good football, and we knew that having watched the Celtic game a couple of weeks ago. So we've got what we've deserved. We're satisfied with the night's work, and there's a lot riding on it, a lot of talk before the game about what was going to happen, but my players stood up brilliantly tonight, and our fans were magnificent as well.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You can understand why he was so incensed, but then also actually quite proud of what his team did to come away in a hard battle.
Well, again, it's another post-match interview where Neil Lennon's complaining about a decision where a linesman's made the wrong choice. You know, we think about the Rangers game with the handball, and then obviously a clear goal that's denied his team getting all 3 points in, which he did say it's a very, very big game, a lot of pressure on him, so it's just disappointing. But Neil's picking up on the referee's
Neil Lennon's saying that he thinks Steve McLean couldn't give it because he couldn't guess, because he's not sure, and he felt that the assistant had a better view. I actually feel Stephen McLean's got a better view of this. In my first viewing there, I think he can see that clearer. He's only, 18 yards from that, and the assistant referee is probably 25, looking across, seeing in front of him a body, a post. Listen, I think the boy was telling Neil it was a foot over the line. By the time he gets maybe out of the boozer and it has another shandy, that would have been brushing the net, because it isn't miles over the line. I think it's so close to call. I can understand Neil's frustration. I'm there every week, and that's the frustration you get with officials when you feel that decisions go against you. You feel so unhappy and aggrieved with it. But when he looks back on it, his performance of the team and the endeavour of his team, I think he'll come away and think it wasn't a bad point, because Hearts have got things going recently, and they're keeping clean sheets. But when you look at it like that, yeah, of course he's going to be disappointed.
OK, I wonder what the thoughts of Craig Levine are. We can hear from him now with Luke Shanley.
Craig, what did you make of that?
Well, that was a typical derby match, wasn't it? It was It just went back and forward for it seemed like, I don't know what it looked like on the TV, but it looked like it was just back and forward for 90 minutes really.
Hibs were frustrated that they seemed to have the ball going over the line early on. Do you feel you might have had some penalties with handballs in the box?
Yeah, listen, I haven't seen the goal that wasn't a goal incident, but some of the lads having to say they thought it was over the line, so we got a lucky break there. I thought they had the better of the first half. They didn't cause us a lot of problems. They tried to run in behind a lot, and I thought our back line were excellent in the use of the offside. We cut them offside about 7 or 8 times in the first half, but they had the better of the play, I felt. Second half I thought we were better. We've missed a fantastic chance. Kyle's missed inside the 6-yard box, which normally he would score. And other than that, I don't recall there being a lot of chances for either side.
Is it something that you build on? It's another game in terms of your unbeaten run at the minute?
Yep, that's 8 or something. Another 62 and we'll beat Celtic's record.
Thank you.
Kind of look at it that way, don't you, I suppose?
Yeah, I think he's really pleased, and he's absolutely right in his assessment of the game. There wasn't an awful lot of clear-cut chances. I think Kyle Lafferty had the best one, just choked down on it. But as I said, as long as, for Craig Levine's perspective, again, it's another clean sheet. And while you've got clean sheets, you stand chances of winning matches, and the points are not a bad thing at this stage.
Yeah, point apiece here tonight. But let's have a look at what was happening elsewhere in the Scottish Premiership. There was Aberdeen beating Partick Thistle. Adam Rooney with the only goal there. The game was postponed between Hamilton and Kilmarnock. A draw here. Rangers beat Motherwell 2-0. Danny Wilson with the opener. Alfredo Morelos doubled the lead, and then St Johnstone, who were leading Ross County with a penalty, managed to also share the points there. How does it affect the table? Well, here, most importantly, both teams with a point, but Hearts haven't managed to close the gap to 2. There was 5 to start with there beforehand. Not too much change apart from Ross County jump up above Partick Thistle on goals, and there's your Dundee just outside of the trouble zone. So there we have it. How do you assess what happened here in terms of where these two sides currently lie at the moment, as two teams battling to try and go above each other as the season continues, Chris?
I think they've obviously shown that they are very evenly matched. But what Neil was saying there, that they need a player that can just turn a little bit of magic on in a scrappy game like that. But listen, you've got to pay money for them sort of players, so it's a difficult one. Neil was bitterly disappointed, but Craig Levine, he's got something going defensively. The amount of clean sheets they've kept, and obviously not losing games, gives them chances to win. They just need to get someone to put the ball in the back of the net, but that's been the problem all season.
Who's the more difficult of the two to come up against?
They pose very different problems to you. As I said, Hearts are a little bit more direct. Hibs tend to play through the lines, as I said, before the game. But both Hibs and Hearts have beaten us both here in Edinburgh. We've beaten Hearts at Dens and really, and drawn with Hibs at Dens, but really two very different sides. As Chris said there, I think maybe Hibs have got a little bit more in terms of a thrust and a power and a pace about them. But you can't turn your back and look at the job that Craig Levine started to do at Hearts. I think he was always going to come in and get himself organised here. And he'll be looking, both managers will be looking to do business in January. Hopefully it's not too good business and I get some done myself.
Quite. Well, thank you very much indeed. Good to have you back.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
See you soon, I'm sure. Chris Commons?
Thank you.
You can see more of Chris Commons, in fact, because there is an SPFL Matters special. And he'll be back with Chris Boyd, with Barry Ferguson and Neil Lennon. Looking ahead to Celtic up against Rangers. We'll be back with that in a Scottish Premiership live game at 11:30 on Saturday morning. And not quite the heartache here tonight. Points shared in the Edinburgh Derby.
Sports Football. Feel it all.